Welcome back, my friends. This is week 2 of the reviewing of book Winning by Tim S. Grover. Now, this week's theme is pressure, obsession, and why winners don't back away. Last week, I said something that sat with a few of you. I said winning is lonely, and a couple of you messaged me privately and said that explains a lot. So today, I want to talk about what separates people once they're already capable. Why? Because talent doesn't decide this part, desire doesn't either. But you know what does? Pressure does. Week 1 was about standards, about choosing progress over approval, and this week it's about what happens after you raise your standards when the pressure shows up, because that's usually when people quietly step back. In Winning, Tim S. Grover makes something very clear. He said, pressure is not a problem to solve. It's proof you're playing a real game. Winners don't try to eliminate pressure. They train themselves to operate inside it. That's powerful. Pressure exposes habits. Pressure reveals preparation. It shows you who you really are when things aren't clean. And here's the part most people misunderstand. Winners don't love pressure. They just don't let it control them. I had to ask myself something uncomfortable while reading this chapter. I had to ask, do I want balance or do I want results first? Because we live in a world that glorifies comfort, and the people we admire most, they don't build their lives on ease. Pressure shows up when you're responsible for the outcomes, when you can't hide behind the excuses, and your decisions actually matter. That's not a burden, guys. That's a privilege. In this business, pressure looks like following up when it would be easier to wait, having direct conversations instead of polite ones, and showing up consistently when results are quiet. This is what pressure sounds like. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm wrong? What if people judge me? Grover would say to you, good. That means you're close to something meaningful. People who avoid pressure avoid growth. People who master pressure builds leverage. But here's where it gets interesting. Grover doesn't stop at pressure. So next week, we are talking about something even harder, brutal self-honesty, the kind that forces you to admit where you've been negotiating with yourself and where being busy replaces being effective. This chapter challenged me in ways I did not expect, and it might challenge you too. So here's this week's question for you. How do you usually respond to pressure? Do you avoid it? Do you manage it? Or do you rise into it? Drop one word into the comments, no explanation needed. And if this conversation is stretching you even a little, come back next Wednesday. We're building this one layer at a time. See you next time. CEO Life, all gas, no brakes.